Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into life. Life is happy but it's so. The measurement of this pulse is 14 inches by 10 inches. It's 14 inches by 10 inches, including the lining. I use my leftover fabric, and this is the zipped head, and this is the zip clothes. This zip clothes come in yards. It's different from the one you use for your clothes, so you just have to cut the measurement you need. And this is belt. I'm just going to use 2 inches, 2 pieces. So I'm burning it here to prevent it from fraying. This is actually not necessary because it's still going to hide, but I'm just used to it. So the next thing you have to do now is to place your fabric right side facing up, and the zip clothes, the right side facing the right side of the fabric. Then you just sew. So after sewing that to the end, but you can actually do this in two different ways. You can decide to place the lining on top of the zip before sewing, but me, I prefer this method. I'll sew the zipper before placing the lining. Place the lining, make sure it is evenly equal, so it's aligned with each other, and sew on it again. Sew together. Sew it together. So now that it is down, the next thing is to turn it to the other side and sew. So after you separate the zip, bag making zipper make this very easy. Just separate it and place on this place. But if it is clothes making zipper, it won't be as easy as this to separate the zipper and bring here, because you already have zip head on it. Now this one, you separate it and sew. Just sew it. So here you're just going to place the lining on top of the zipper on the other side and do the same thing we did previously. So after sewing the lining, now you just turn inside out and you top stitch both sides. I might do this off the camera because I don't want this video to be too long. So you top stitch. After top stitching this side, you take the other side as well and also top stitch it. After top stitching, you top stitch the other side as well. So you have the two sides top stitch already. The next thing is to fix our zip head. Teach you how to fix the zipper next. So after top stitching, I fix the zipper. That's the one I call the zip head. So you fix it to the zip clothes and zip. So I'll just going to pull and zip it all through and remove it again, because I want it to be locked on both ends of the zip head, and while the zip head is at the middle. So I will fix it second time again and place it at the middle of the purse. So that's it. So the next thing now, we have to notch the midpoints down. Make sure it is equal. Notch the midpoints at both ends. You notch the midpoints at both ends. Do the same to this other side. The next thing is for you to place this zip on top of the place you notched. So place it exact on top of the place, then pin down. Do this to both ends. After pinning this side down, make sure it is equal with the notch part on the other side. So you pin that place, then do the same thing on the other side as well. So you pin down. The next thing is to measure 2 centimeters upward from that area, then 5 centimeters inward from this area, just the way I placed the ruler. So 2 centimeters upward, 5 centimeters inward. I don't know how else I can give you this in inches. I think it is easier to use centimeter. Please remember to use centimeter. Do this to the 4 edges, 5 centimeters inward from the area and 2 centimeters upward. Please use centimeter. Centimeter is the smallest side of our tape rule. The inches is the widest side. So you continue like that. Then afterwards you cut out that measurement. After cutting out this measurement, make sure you cut the 4 edges out like that. Do the same thing to the 4 edges. So this is what I just did. The 4 edges is done. So the next thing now is to turn the fabric inside out. You have to remove your pin. You depin the fabric. Place you put pin, you remove it. You bring out the lining from the main fabric. So you turn the fabric inside out. That is what you're just going to do. So after turning it out, you place it equally on each other, the lining, both edge together, and the fabric. Make sure they are very equal. That are 2 inches that will cut from belt is going to serve as zip stopper, though it adds some beautification. It will add sophistication to it, and it is optional. It's not compulsory. I'm just going to add it today. Instead of that, you can make a handle here. Instead of using 2 inches, if you want to make handle, you can use from 7 inches upward, 7 inches, 9 inches, as you wish. 7 inches to 9 inches, I think that is for the handle. You can also place it where you just place the 2 inches, and in that case it will be just one. Or if you want to make the second one, you make the second one smaller and the handle bigger. So the other one will be 2 inches and the other one will be 7 to 9 inches to make the handle, and the other one will just serve as decoration and zip stopper, which is actually not necessary. It's optional anyway. So after sewing that, just do the same thing to the other edge. So I'm still going to put zip stopper there because it serves as beautification and it also serves as zip stopper. Do the same to this end. So after sewing this place, now you just turn inside out through this fabric, the main fabric. Don't use the lining. So open one hole in the main fabric and use it to turn everything inside to bring it out like this. So bringing out the main fabric, the lining will be pulling inside. So you just do it. It's very easy. So it is all done. It is all done. The next thing now is to pick the edges that are open, and it's 4 edges, so you pick it one after the other. As you are placing it, please ensure that the lining and the main fabric align together so that you don't have opening or rough sewing. So ensure that it's aligned together. So place it very well. You see how I'm struggling with it, trying to place it very well. Then the next thing is to sew. After sewing, you verify, you check very well if you have a good sewing, if you have been able to sew the 4 sheets together, that is the fabric and the lining in 2 places, that is 4 sheets. Check very well. If there is any mistake, you will sew again. If there is anyone that you did not pick along with it this time around, you sew it together again. Simple as that. Just repeat the same thing in the four holes. Make sure they are equal and you sew. So the next thing now is to trim. Why I'm trimming this is for me to find it easy when I'm resewing from the lining. So I'll trim it, and when you are doing this, you have to be very, very, very careful so that you don't cut the main fabric or the pores open again. So I just have to trim it to the barest minimal to make it very tiny to be seen, almost invisible. So you make sure it is very tiny. So when we are done with that, we just open up the zip and turn it inside out. So before then, let me just quickly add my ring to it. Since I didn't put handle, I prefer to put ring. Just open the ring and fix it to the zip. After which you turn inside out. So you see how neat it is. I don't know if you can see that from your end. See how neat it looks. Very clean. See how neat this is inside though. So the next thing now is to sew down the edges I have sewn in the front before. That very place, you hold it and sew. Make sure as you are sewing, use your hand to trace it that everything that was showing in this side is hidden here. So sew it down. You do the same thing to the four edges. That edge you sew, you just turn it and sew it inside. If you leave it like that, it won't be neat. So it's just like hiding your sewing. So you sew it down again. Do the same thing here. You sew it down. So voila, the purse is ready. Just ready. Done. All you need to do now is to turn it out. I'm just trying to verify if you have any that is not well sewn, but everything is well, perfectly made. So just turn it inside, turn the inside out. Now it's going to be nice. Our pot is ready, and this pot is very big. It can contain your phone. You see that? It can contain your phone, and it's very beautiful.